Most people wake up in the morning and start thinking about their problems. These problems are connected to certain memories, and these memories are connected to certain people and things. Your brain is like an old tape recorder that plays the same cassette tape repeatedly every day. If your brain is a record of the past, then the moment you start your day, you are already thinking and living in the past. Each of your memories has an emotion, and emotions are the end product of past experiences. So, the moment you remember the problems, suddenly you feel unhappy, sad, and in pain. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being. In other words, it creates your character. If your entire state of being, when you start the day, is in the past, it means your past will eventually become your future. For example, something that happened yesterday made you angry. Today you wake up and think about it and feel angry again. Keep doing this for 2 days, and people will think you're having a bad day. Keep doing this for a week, and people will think you're in a bad mood. If you keep doing it long enough, soon anger will become part of your character, and you'll be known as someone who is always angry. So, as you can see, your thoughts have something to do with your destiny. This means that if you keep thinking about the past, you will keep creating the same life without even realizing it. You keep creating the same life you don't even like. Here's how it usually happens: you wake up and grab your phone. You check your Instagram, your WhatsApp, read some emails or messages, then check the news, and now you finally feel really connected to everything that is known in your life. After that, you go through a series of routine behaviors. You get out of bed on the same side, go to the bathroom, grab a cup of coffee in your favorite mug, take a shower, get dressed, and take the same bus or drive to work the same way. Finally, you arrive at work and see the same people who pushed the same emotional buttons. When work ends, you rush back home to do the same things again the next day. This becomes your routine, and the routine works like a computer program. And now you've lost your free will to a program. It's no longer you who controls, but the subconscious program. 95% of who we are, over the years, is a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions that function like a program. So, you can say with your conscious mind of 5%, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, I want to be free, but the body is governed by a different program. You're putting the conscious mind of 5% against the subconscious mind, which is 95%. It's like putting a skinny guy against an Olympic-level weightlifter in a weightlifting competition. No wonder you can't make changes and end up going back to the old program and creating the same life. So, how do you start making changes? Well, you have to go beyond the analytical mind, because what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. And that's where meditation comes in. Through the practice of meditation, you can learn to change your brain waves and slow them down. And, when you do it correctly, you can enter the operating system where you can start making fundamental changes. Most people wait for a crisis, trauma, illness, or diagnosis to start changing. Joe Dispenza's message is this: why wait for negative things to happen? You can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. Most people spend 70% of their lives living in survival, living in stress, so they are always anticipating the worst-case scenario based on past experiences. They literally choose the negative things out of the infinite potential in the quantum field. They are selecting the worst possible outcome. It's like looking at a menu with an infinite amount of foods and drinks and choosing the worst possible option. Here's how it happens: every time you remember the negative event, you produce the same chemistry in the brain and body as if the event were occurring again. You're sending the same emotional signals to the body. Your body is your unconscious mind. In a sense, your body doesn't know the difference. Your body thinks the event is really happening now. Most people are constantly recreating their negative emotional states by constantly thinking about them. So, when it comes time to abandon that negative emotion, they might say, I really want to change, but the problem is that the body is stronger than the mind. The body has been conditioned for years to the negative emotions. The body was once a servant, but now it has become the master. Suddenly, when you decide to change and enter the unknown, the body doesn't like it. The body prefers to feel guilt and suffering because that is familiar and predictable. Being in the unknown is a scary place for the body. Entering the unknown is like entering a deep river. The body knows that if you manage to cross to the other side of the river, it will die. It will do anything to stop you. That's why the moment you start meditating, suddenly your nose starts to itch, you remember an important task you had to do, and out of nowhere, you get a 20-year-old memory. This is your body saying, come on, give up and let's go back to our miserable old life. The body has many tools and will use each one to stop you from entering the unknown. The unknown is the best place to create your future, and the easiest way to enter the unknown is through meditation. Once you are in a deep state of meditation, you can start creating your future. What kind of new life do you want? What behaviors do you want to demonstrate? What kind of person do you want to be? The act of mentally closing your eyes and rehearsing the things or behaviors you want in your life is the best way to create your future. If you are truly present, the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and real experience. Through the act of imagination, you are installing the software programs of your future life. Now, your brain is no longer a record of the past, it is a map for the future. And, if you keep doing this, who knows, you might start acting like a happy person. The hardest part is teaching your body emotionally how the future will be before the real experience. Simply imagining is not enough. You need to feel it emotionally in your body. If thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body. It is through feelings and emotions that your body understands what your mind is saying. If you don't feel anything, it means your body is not receiving the signal. It's like the internet modem in your room is working, but you can't connect because you turned off the Wi-Fi on your phone. The moment you start feeling the emotions of your thoughts, you are connected to the internet and can now start downloading your future life. And you know what that means? It means you no longer need to wait for your success to happen to feel successful. You don't need to wait for wealth to feel abundant. You don't need to wait for your new relationship to feel love. According to the quantum model of reality, the moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you start feeling it, you are starting to walk towards your future now. This means you are becoming the creator of your future. You are no longer living as a victim and saying things like, I am this way because of this person or this experience. Unfortunately, today, many people are victims of their own negative thoughts from the past. Most people don't realize this, but here's the thing about thoughts, just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's true. Let me repeat, just because you have a thought doesn't mean you should act on it. On average, you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts from the previous day. If your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, then your life won't change much, because the same thought leads to the same choice leads to the same behavior creates the same experience, and the same experience produces the same emotion. That's why it's very important to meditate, so you can become more aware of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. The more aware you are, the less likely an unwanted thought will go unnoticed by your consciousness. The word meditation means to become familiar with, so, as you become familiar with the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions of the old self, you no longer let them influence you. Instead, you start thinking new thoughts and conditioning the body to a new emotional state. If you do this long enough, that new emotional state will become familiar to you. Creating a new self is like creating a new garden. First, you need to get rid of the weeds and stones, then you need to pull out the plants of the past and prepare the soil. Only after that can you start planting. Meditating basically works the same way. You are preparing the garden, and it's not easy work. Training your body to sit and meditate is like training a wild animal or a dog. You say, sit and stay here, but it runs away. So, you catch it and bring it back, but of course, it runs away again, and you have to catch it and bring it back again. The moment you start a meditation, the body says, hey, it's 8 o'clock, you usually read emails and get angry around this time, but here you are sitting and doing nothing. You are off schedule, what's going on? For years we've been getting angry together around this time, but suddenly you're going to change like this overnight? So, the body starts sending signals. The body is basically looking for that predictable chemical state and doesn't care if it's a toxic state. Every time you become aware of what your body is doing and bring your attention to the present moment, you are telling the body that it is no longer the mind, and you are the mind. And now your will is becoming greater than the program. And if you keep doing this repeatedly, just like a trained dog, the body will sit and obey. The moment the body surrenders, there is a release of energy. You go from particle to wave, from matter to energy, and you free yourself from the chains of those emotions that keep you in the familiar past. If you do this for just 7 days, you will start seeing differences in your life. You will start catching yourself more often and avoiding going back to the old unhappy self. Of course, you need to repeat this process long enough until your future reality becomes your current reality. I hope this was a helpful video. Thank you for watching.